everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang. I got a story time for you guys. Hi, my name is Asia. If you don't know me, I grew up in foster care. I was in foster care from the age of 6 up until the age of 23 when I aged out. When I aged out of foster care, I had nothing to my name and I had to figure out life by myself. This story time is about how I lost my foster sister when we were in the 6th grade, and I didn't realize up until probably like 5 years ago how much it affected me and how traumatized I was by it. Nobody addressed it. I did not have therapy for it, and I kind of just went on to live my life, and then I realized, oh, I hadn't dealt with this trauma that actually happened, and it's kind of affecting me. This is my baby. She is so beautiful. I miss her so much, and I wish things were so different. So back in 2007, I was in a foster home. Back when I was in a foster home, I had a foster sister. Unfortunately, my foster sister at the time was in the streets. She was doing what she wanted to do, and nobody really couldn't tell her nothing. Nobody couldn't tell me nothing either, but I wasn't running the streets. I was just kind of bad and like, oh, y'all not my mama, y'all can't tell me what to do type bad. She was, oh, I'm running away, I got a boyfriend and I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do and nobody's gonna stop me type bad. Okay, so while living with her, I kind of got an insight on the things that she was doing, but I wasn't street smart in a sense. Like, I didn't know that she was actually doing the things that she was doing. I just thought she kind of was like just saying it, like, oh, she was talking about it, but she wasn't really doing it. And to be quite honest, now that I look back on it, I just was very young and naive to things that could potentially be going on, right? My foster sister, she was very beautiful. When I say beautiful, she was very beautiful, had so much potential, would have went so far in life. It just, unfortunately, life happens, and the way life goes and the way life is set up, things are kind of out of your control as far as when you make decisions and you're living that type of life and you're out in the streets and you're doing certain things. So we living in this foster home. We was doing whatever we wanted to do, getting suspended from school, fighting, the whole 9 yards. She was running away. I wasn't running away. I didn't really have nowhere to go at that time, so that wasn't my forte. That wasn't my thing at the time. Fast forward, she runs away. She doesn't live with me anymore. We end up not going to the same school, because when you're in foster care, they move you around. They kind of put you wherever they can find for you to go. So that's kind of what happened. I end up getting kicked out of this foster home because I was bad as hell, and I end up going to a group home. I end up moving into a group home. When I moved into the group home, I checked into a new school. So I was going to this new school for probably like 3 months maybe, and she ends up checking into the school. In between this time, I had no communication with her. So I lived in the other foster home with her for probably like maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months. But within that time, we built a bond because, you know, we were in kind of the same situations. So after I'm going to this school, she ends up checking into the school. Like I said before, really pretty girl. And you know, when you're a pretty girl, you always get in hate. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you always either going to find somebody that's always want to be close to you, or you're always going to find people that's always jealous of you. And she just happened to find, coming to this school, that the females was jealous of her. So she's probably going to the school for probably a month or two maybe. The specific school that I was going to, they had track, A track, B track, C track. And if you from LA, you probably know what school I'm talking about. I was going to Fauché. And I used to like flip-flop between the tracks because I lived in a group home, and I would basically tell them like, no, I'm not on track right now. I'm not supposed to be at school. The group home people was not doing their job because they was not trying to figure out if I was supposed to be at school or not. So the specific time that I'm talking about, when she checked in, I was going to school. They were making me go to school every day. Not only was they making me go to school every day, my grandmother, my biological grandmother, would leave her house in Watts, which is probably like 35 minutes away, and come sit with me and make sure I was going to class and doing what the fuck I was supposed to do. Ridiculous. So me and my foster sister, we started going to school together. She started having issues and problems with the girls at school. But mind you, previously, like I told y'all, she was in the streets. We're only 12. She's running the streets. She's doing whatever she want to do. She had boyfriends, whatever. It just was a super bad situation. And fast forward, she's having issues with the girls at school. So she would come to school sometimes, then she wouldn't go to school. She ended up moving into a foster home with this older black lady. She wasn't liking living with her. And like I said, she wanted to do whatever she wanted to do, so she was running away. One specific morning, I'm late for school. My grandma is meeting me in front of the school to make sure that I'm going to school so she could sit in the class with me. And as I'm walking up the stairs, my foster sister is coming out to school. When she coming out of school, I'm like, girl, where are you going? She like, I'm not staying up here today. Like, these females talking about they want to fight, so I'm going to just come up here after school. And she opened her backpack, and she showed me that she had some petroleum jelly in her backpack. So she like, I'm going to come up here after school. Like, if they want to fight, we just going to fight or whatever. I'm like, so where you going right now? She like, well, I'm about to go with my boyfriend, and I'll just come back later. So I'm like, okay, Lala, please just be careful. So she like, I am, you know me. She went walking down the stairs, and she walked down the street, and that was the last thing that I said to her. I end up going back to the foster home that I was in, that me and her lived in before, like 2-3 months later. So she never came back to school. So I'm assuming that she ran away from her foster home and she never came back to the school. So I end up going back to the foster home. The lady ended up letting me come back. And I remember coming home from school and them telling me, like, you need to sit down. And I'm like, what's going on? They like, Lala got killed. And I'm like, what? What do you mean she got killed? Like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Mind you, we are 12 years old. So they like, yeah, she got killed last night. It was all over the news. At the time, I was not processed going on. I didn't understand at the time what they were actually telling me, because I'm like, that don't make no sense. Like, I feel like I just seen her, even though it had probably been like 2-3 months. I'm like, I just seen her. Like, what do you mean? The last words that I told her was be careful, be safe. So I'm asking, like, what happened? So my foster sister, like I said, she was in the streets. She had a pimp. Damn. And when she was saying, I'm going to go meet with my boyfriend, she was actually going to meet with a pimp. One of the girls that was being pimped out was jealous of her and stabbed my foster sister 27 times. A fucking child. 27 times, and killed her. Like I said, I hadn't even processed the fact that they had told me that she was gone, because I had never lost somebody before. I had never lost anybody close to me, a cousin, an uncle. I had never lost anybody. So I didn't understand that she was gone and I would never see her ever again in life. This is somebody that I ate with, I shared a room with, I slept with, I talked with, I cried with. Everything for them to just tell me that she was gone and that she was never coming back. And like I said, up until about 5 years ago, I didn't process it in the way that I needed to, until I was like This is something that happened to me. No, she was not my biological sister, but this was somebody that was close to me and that I cared about and I loved. And she was gone and she was never coming back.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Man, let me tell you something, man. California and has a really big problem with underage prostitution. Like, literally, there is a gang that resides near the Figueroa area that are under. I think. Don't quote me on this, but they are under investigation for all the child prostitution that they've been, putting these young girls out there. It's a girl. I did a video about her. I can't remember her name, but her and her mom. Her mom is young, dumb. The girl is dumb. I think her name was, I just had it on the tip of my tongue, but yeah, the young girl, she was selling her body at like 12 or whatever. Now she's like 15, 16. She was on like the Soft White Underbelly. It's a YouTube channel that interviews like and stuff. And mind you, this girl's like 15 at the time, and she's on this show about her. I seen a video on, I don't remember if it was TikTok or X, but a guy was about to pick up a prostitute and the police drove by and the police was like, she's 15. And that was it, and drove off. It was like, she's 15 and drove off. And it's just like, it's that common in California that the police know these girls is underage. They're not going to stop them because they're going to keep doing it. But he just literally just drove by the guy who was about to purchase. He just wanted some, whatever. And he said, the cop just said she's 15. It's just heartbreaking, dog, just to think like these girls really have no future. You know what I'm saying? And it's grown men that are predators, preying on these young women, taking them out of an already tough situation. Probably mom on drugs. You see that she's in foster care. She don't really have nobody that really, really love her for real. So it's easy for them to show them love and be like, I can love you, I can do this. And if it's her pimp, he's sleeping with her. You know this for a fact. So it's a terrible situation, and unfortunately, like it's so common out there. It's probably common in a lot of places. I couldn't tell you about it. One time, I don't remember who I was with. Oh yeah, I remember who I was with. I was with this girl, and there's a place on the south side of Oklahoma City that at nighttime you want to avoid it. Reason why you want to avoid it is because it's a prostitution area, right? So if you're one man driving in a car down this road, you don't want to drive down this road because you're liable to get stopped. And it's not a big road. And there's police. There's this guy, he used to go by John TV, and he's a YouTuber. Back in the day, he used to follow, and he's in Oklahoma City, and it was all over YouTube. He used to follow these when they pick up a John and they go to a park or something. He hops out on them and he's filming them. And he says, "What are you doing?" But anyway, I was riding with this girl and I was like, "Hey, why are you going down the street?" And she was like, "We going to I don't remember where we was going." I was like, "Bro, you could have kept going straight. Like, you didn't have to turn down this street. What made you turn down this street?" And she was like, "Wow, what's the deal?" And I was like, you see this girl walking down the middle of the street, half-ass naked? Like, drive fast. Don't be looking. Just keep your head straight. She like this. Oh, and she's slowing down. Like, girl, keep moving. Don't slow down next to you. You're going to get us pulled over. It's like, I was like, bruh, tripping. You shouldn't have came down the street. She was like, I didn't know that this was it. I said, yes, this is what this street is. You know what I'm saying? But it be some now. It be some ones with some nice bodies, but then again, you see a lot of them ones that be like, I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't even pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, be out there. But shout out to them. Don't support human. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.